Welcome back to another lesson. We're going to look at left-hand arpeggiation patterns in this lesson. A long time ago I've made a video which was in low resolution, and I'd like to remake it and also expand it in this case. So we're going to look at a simple melody, and I'm going to play it now, and then we're going to discuss ways of playing left-hand arpeggiations over this melody. So the melody is this. So I'm playing a C major, all in the root form, A minor, E minor, F, and then back to a C major in the left hand. And in the right hand, it's just a simple melody I made up for this video. That's all there is. Now, I'm going to show you or work you through a few ways of making this more interesting. And the first way is the following. Let's say you have a triad like this, and let's start with the first chord, which is the C major chord. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the middle note in this triad, in this case it's an E, and transpose it up an octave. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play so I'm going to arpeggiate it. So what I'm doing is C, G, E, G, E, G, and then again. Now you can do this with any chord. Let's try it with the other chords in the progression. Here's an A minor. I'm going to take this C here, put it up an octave, and arpeggiate it. So I have an A, E, and C. I'm holding down the pedal, you can't see it, but I have a piano pedal and I'm holding it down with my right hand as I arpeggiate. Remember to lift your foot from the pedal when you move from chord to chord. Here's the E minor, so again, take the middle note, which is a G, put it up an octave, and I'm actually going to play this an octave lower. It gives it more body. And then finally, for the F, take the A, put it an octave higher. Put together, it all sounds like this. So immediately, just by spreading out the voicing and adding the motion, the entire piece takes up a completely different character, and I think a much more pleasing one. Let's see if we can make this more interesting. To make this more interesting, we're going to have to add more motion to our arpeggiation. So notice when I play the C major arpeggio, I'm playing this thing twice. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some motion by changing the uppermost note in either the first or the second time. It's going to sound like this. Or now the note I'm going to substitute, so instead of playing the high E, I'm playing a D here. The note I'm going to substitute is going to be either a semitone or a tone below, and instead of going into the complicated theory, I suggest you just experiment, just try both options, and you'll immediately hear the one that is more pleasing to the ear. Let's play. So I'm going to first play the arpeggiation pattern in the left hand without the melody, and then I'm going to play it with the melody. But I'm going to keep the motion in both cases. So it's up to you whether to incorporate this added motion or not. It's a matter of taste. Sometimes it adds, sometimes it clashes with the music. So it's really a matter of, it's on a per case basis. It's not just that one is better than the other. Let's complicate this even further. So all of the arpeggiations that we've done so far were built on basically the root form of each triad. So we started out either from the C major triad in the root form, or the A minor triad, or the E minor triad, or the F major triad, but they were all in the root form. Now we can often make a progression more pleasing if we use inversions. So what I would maybe do is maybe something like this. The point is that what I'd like to do is sort of keep the notes as close together as possible. Here's my cat, by the way. She's looking for attention. All right, she's got it now. We can get back to the lesson. So as I was saying, by using inversions, you can keep your notes as close together as possible. Let me show you what I mean. So instead of using the root form and taking the middle note up one octave, I can use an inversion. Let's say I take this inversion of C. So this is the first inversion of C major. I'm playing an E, G, and C in the left hand. And I'm going to take this middle note here, which is a G, take it up an octave, and play it. Now this is an arpeggio of C major. It's exactly the same harmonically as the original arpeggio that we played, but it's an inversion of it. So you can invert arpeggios in exactly the same way as which you can invert chords. So I'm going to pick a slightly different melody for this, and it's going to be again simple chords, just a C, an F major, and a G major. It's going to sound like this. If I were to use the arpeggios, the simple arpeggios that we've discussed so far, I would play this for the C major, this for the F major, and this for the G major. And it would sound like this. Not bad, but let's see what happens if for the second C chord we actually use an inversion. So I'm going to play and in terms of arpeggios, So at least in my opinion, this improves the progression. Let me show you a few more tricks. So the next trick would be a more advanced arpeggio in which we don't go back or use the same three notes, but keep going up. And then at the end, go down. So I'm going to play it for C major, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So it's more technically challenging, so it's a bit more advanced. It will take you some time to get this one under your belt. So I'm playing a C, G, D, E, G, and C. And I'm using the following fingering. You might find the one that is more comfortable for you. The fifth, second finger, thumb, turn over, the second finger, first thumb, and then second for the C, and then jump down back again. It sounds like this. So it's more challenging, and I wrote down on the screen the notes I use in each arpeggiation, so you can try it out for yourself. But this also goes to show that you're really not limited in the left hand. You can really play any arpeggiation pattern that sounds pleasing and that is humanly attainable with reasonable, or whatever technique you have. I'm going to finish with one more trick. Actually, maybe let's make it two more tricks. The first trick is the fact that you don't have to actually start on the same at the beginning of the bar itself. So you see that with every time the bar starts, my finger hits the lowest most note in the arpeggio. So it's really every bar you're starting with the bar itself. But there's nothing that says that you cannot say, wait, one note. So just omit one of the notes. And this gives it a nice syncopated feel. Let me play this for you, and you'll sort of see what I mean. So what I use for the C major chord is basically the same voicing I used in the previous example, but without this backtracking. So I was playing wait, C, G, D, E, G. So I'm just going up in this case. The second trick I was talking about is trying to add the seventh to the seventh degree of the scale, especially if you're playing a major scale. Add that to your voicing or to the arpeggio. So you've noticed that, for example, when I played my arpeggiation, take a look at this inversion of the C major chord. So look at the notes I've played. It's an E, B, C, G, B. So what I'm really arpeggiating here is a C major 7th chord with the bass on the E. And this gives it a much more modern sound than just sticking with triads. So this forces you to start thinking more about theory and the chords that you want to use. So this might be for more advanced players out there. Even if you're not an advanced player and you're not a real expert on chords and chord voicings, what I would suggest you do is try, and when you're maybe going up the chord, try putting in the 7th degree of the scale there, just to see if it sounds good, if it fits. You might be surprised or come across variations that are interesting. Or that are pleasing to you. That's it for now. I hope you've learned some interesting ways to arpeggiate chords, and I'll see you next time.